And we're live. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Gather. Childish Gambino. Rumor has it. One moment to know. Gather. Come join. Where are you people? Gather, gather, gather. Come and join me. Ladies and gentlemen, Madame et Monsieur. Gather. Take a pew. Take a seat. Say hello as you're coming in. Rumor has it. And what does the rumor have exactly is what we're going to go through. Gather, come join, take a seat. You know the schedule by now. 10:30 p.m. UK time, 1:45 p.m. UK time. For the entirety of this month, we shall be convening to tackle all matters Nigerian. Hello, Toyin Ogundokun. Nice to have you. Gather, say hello as you're coming in. Gather, gather, gather. Matters arising, converge, let's discuss. We're talking about the Buhari regime speaking to the United Kingdom regarding IPOB and by extension NNAMDI KANU seeking his repatriation. Then a cleric in Borno has come out to say that he wants the Goodluck Jonathan regime and the Buhari regime that Isa Pantami or Pantami, whatever his name is, that is a jihadist fundamentalist, but they ignored him, and thus that led us to this point. So that is up for discussion as well. And what is the final story? So Buhari again coming up to say that he would not be intimidated by Goodluck, not by Goodluck Jonathan, but rather by NNAMDI KANU. He did not actually mention NNAMDI KANU directly, but he said he would not be intimidated by people seeking the division of the country. And of course, the champion of that cause is NNAMDI KANU. So I've taken a literary license there. So gather, converge, click on the hyperlink, come join me in the live stream. Say hello as you're coming in. You know the routine. We gather here for 10:30 rather p.m. UK time every single day to tackle all matters Nigeria. Matters arising, Buhari has been a bad boy. So say hello as you are coming in. Follow Tony's example. Introduce yourselves and say hello. If you want to click on that hyperlink that you're seeing on your screen, you can. I do encourage that, and I champion and promote that all the time because that really makes for the session. If you click on the hyperlink and then I have you on my screen, then I can have somebody to speak with directly. So that is why I encourage that, especially if you're female, because we're seeking to hear a female voice in one of these sessions. We hear plentiful enough male voices, but yet female has not yet felt moved enough to chime in. So if you want to chime in, if you're female or not, click on that hyperlink, come join as we discuss matters arising or matters pertaining to Nigeria. Come join seat. So there's enough of us gathered to just get straight into it. So straight into it we go with the first narrative. We're going to the never-ending battle that seems to be going on between the IPOB movement and the Buhari regime. It has taken a new turn now. As guys, I bring you this. Federal government tackles United Kingdom on asylum to IPOB members. So effectively, they are seeking now the extradition of IPOB members, and there is the suspicion that NNAMDI KANU is based in the United Kingdom. He is a British citizen, after all. So there is that suspicion that he is in the United Kingdom, and that then makes that a catch-all. So if they are protesting against the IPOB members seeking asylum in the United Kingdom, which then by extension they are seeking the extradition of IPOB members seeking asylum in the United Kingdom, does that capture NNAMDI KANU as well? Is the question, because as I said, he is a British citizen. So is he protected by that passport, or does his Nigerian passport, if he does have one, reach into that space to pull him out of the United Kingdom and have him come and face the music in Abuja? So that is the narrative that we're seeking to chew over, to condense and pick apart and then reassemble as again. Federal government tackles United Kingdom on asylum to IPOB members. So now let's now see how they've worded this. The federal government says the reported decision of the United Kingdom to grant asylum to persecuted members of the indigenous people of Biafra is disrespectful of Nigeria as a nation. So let's take that from the top again. The federal government says the reported decision of the United Kingdom to grant asylum to persecuted members of the indigenous people of Biafra is disrespectful of Nigeria as a nation. The Minister of Information and Culture. So whenever we land on this name, then we are getting into the territory of Fabula Mouth. So anytime you hear the Minister of Information and Culture, anything that succeeds that, you can just put in the realms of a fairy tale. But nevertheless, let's go through what our fable he has to tell. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, also said that the decision amounted to sabotaging the fight against terrorism and generally undermining Nigeria's security. So now they are classifying IPOB essentially as a terrorist organization, because if they are saying that the decision of the United Kingdom to grant IPOB members political asylum is effectively sabotaging Nigeria's fight against terrorism, then by extension, you can extrapolate and project and conclude that they deem the IPOB movement a terrorist organization. So from the top again, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, also said that the decision amounted to sabotaging fight against terrorism and generally undermining Nigeria's security. Fielding questions at a news agency of Nigeria flagship interview program on fielding questions on a news agency of Nigeria flagship interview program on Tuesday in Abuja, Mohammed said the decision is unacceptable to Nigeria. Let me say straight away that this issue is within the purview of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I am sure he will handle it appropriately. But as the spokesman for the federal government of Nigeria, I will say that if indeed the report that the United Kingdom will grant asylum to supposedly persecuted IPOB and MASSOB members is true, then something is wrong somewhere. Against the background of the fact that IPOB is not only proscribed, but also designated as a terrorist organization in Nigeria, the United Kingdom's decision is disrespectful of Nigeria as a nation. So this is what is landing on the basis of Buhari declaring somebody a terrorist. The international community should then shun them is effectively what this clownish guy has to say. I wonder what you people are making of it. Anybody with any thoughts so far? Click on the hyperlink, come join me, or make comments in the comment section just to get the feedback of what you're making of what Lai Mohammed is saying. The decision amounts to sabotaging the fight against terrorism and generally undermining Nigeria's security. It is not only unconscionable, it is inexplicable, he said. The minister said that there had recently been heightened attacks against security agencies in the southeast. For the United Kingdom to choose this time to give succor to IPOB beggars belief and calls to question the United Kingdom's real intention. If we could go down memory lane, what the United Kingdom has done is like Nigeria offering asylum to members of the IRA before the 1998 Good Friday Peace Agreement, he said. News Agency of Nigeria reports that the United Kingdom Visas and Immigrations had released new guidelines to its decision makers on how to consider and grant asylum application by members of the Biafran successionist group. So it looks as though all the Igbos will now be moving to Nigeria, to the United Kingdom now, all claiming that they are IPOB members. You know, of course, how that will go. So it looks as though there's a dispensation being opened in the United Kingdom to grant freer access into the country for IPOB members. So I take that paragraph again. In the guidelines, asylum is to be granted to persecuted members of IPOB, a group that Nigeria had designated let me actually take it from the top again so it makes more sense. News Agency of Nigeria reports that the United Kingdom Visa and Immigration had released new guidelines to its decision makers on how to consider and grant asylum applications by members of Biafran successionist groups. In the guideline, asylum will be granted to persecuted members of IPOB, a group that Nigeria had designated as a terrorist organization. Also in the guideline, asylum is to be granted to Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The British are seeking to grant asylum to IPOB members, but then of course, that is not to say you can quickly rush to your nearest British embassy and start to chant that you're IPOB. They will still take you through a rigorous process to identify that you are being persecuted before that asylum is granted. But nevertheless, Nigeria lashes back, and when Nigeria lashes back, of course, it's usually in the tonality of Lai Mohammed, that tribal marked guy from Kwara State, opening his loud mouth yet again. I'm surprised he's not shouting abuse at the British, because that is usually his recourse. And just as a side story to that, Buhari chimes in, Buhari can't be intimidated, presidency. So these two stories are aligned. So I'm going to bring you this second narration as we await people to join us on the screen. If you click on the hyperlink, if you want to come join, then you can come on the screen and come join. But let's just take this second narration just to sum up that IPOB Buhari segment of this particular interaction. So on to the second headline. Where is it again? Buhari can't be intimidated, a headline attributed to presidency. So let's now see now what the presidency has to say. The presidency announced on Tuesday that it would not budge from its stance that Nigeria's oneness and stability is non-negotiable. So this really still speaks. This doesn't speak essentially to IPOB, but this speaks now to that ever-growing fervent clamor for the balkanization of that Nigerian state, because of course, you don't need me to tell you that everybody and anybody within that space is completely fed up with the nation as it is configured. So that clamoring is now is reverberating so much within the Nigerian space that it can no longer be ignored. So they are now taking a position to present a counter argument. So that position is being taken as, again, Buhari can't be intimidated, a headline attributed to the presidency. So let's just take it from the top again. The presidency announced on Tuesday that it would not budge from its stance that Nigeria's oneness and stability are non-negotiable. This came as it so bear with me. This came as he retaliated against those leading calls for secession from the country, stating that President Muhammadu Buhari cannot be threatened or coerced into giving into their demands. The federal government also accused secessionists of fighting solely for their own personal benefit and pockets. Garba Shehu, the president's senior special assistant on media and publicity, reiterated the government's position on Tuesday in Abuja at an event organized by the All Progressive Congress APC Professional Forum, which was held at the party's national secretariat. So that is what he has to say. And it goes on, okay, it still carries on the calls for the convocation of a national conference. The presidential media aide submitted that it was an aberration with an elected parliament in place. So it's describing the convocation of a national conference as an aberration, and is also dismissing out of hand. This is the hyperlink again, in case anybody wants to chime in. We're talking about IPOB. The IPOBs have been, there's a special fiat, a special dispensation being introduced to the United Kingdom immigration laws that sweeps up IPOB members and grants them special passage to seek political asylum within the Nigerian space. No, not within the Nigerian space, within the United Kingdom. So the Nigerian government, of course, is lashing out against this, lashing at the United Kingdom, saying that they had proscribed IPOB and designated them as a terrorist organization. So the United Kingdom granting IPOB asylum is tantamount to the United Kingdom granting asylum to terrorists. So that was the first narration. And then we are landing on the second narration now, which is still along the same strap line. This narration now goes to that clamor for secession or division or balkanization of the country. So in the first paragraph, they rejected the idea of balkanizing the country out of hand. But in the second stanza now, they are in the throes of rejecting the possibility of convoking a national conference to discuss exactly what way forward for that space called Nigeria. So they are rejecting everything. That then means they are happy to maintain the status quo. But let them explain in their own words as we carry on with that narration. And click on the hyperlink, it's there if you want to come join me on the screen. On calls for the convocation of a national conference, the presidential media aide submitted that it was an aberration with an elected parliament in place. In his words, on the unity of this country and the calls for secession and the insinuation that the presidency is not talking, the presidency has been talking, and our position is clearly that this country is one, is united. So that is a total nonsensity. So I keep pausing because, of course, these outlandish comments and statements that these people make, you are saying the country is one and is united. Which country are we talking about? Are we talking about China or Japan? Or are we talking about Ghana? We are talking about Nigeria. And with the best will in the world, nobody, not even anybody that knows just a digit about anything about Nigeria could ever describe it as one or united. Where is the unity within that space when everybody is holding AK-47 against their up against each other along tribal, ethnic, and religious lines, and they're savaging and bloodletting every single day based on those still parameters? Tony, if you want to click on that hyperlink again, your link has dropped. So anybody that wants to join Tony, click on the hyperlink. So this idea that the country is united is a total a figment of this guy's fallacy, an obfuscation of the facts as they stand, and an outright outrage against the Nigerian person. With all that country is suffering, these idiots will tell you that it is united. But let's hear more from what this clown has to say. Okay, so in his words, on the unity of this country and call for secession and the insinuation that the presidency is not talking, the presidency has been talking, and our position is clearly that this country is one, is united, and by the grace of God will continue to be united. Maybe not by the grace of God, but perhaps by the potency of an AK-47, because that country at the moment is being held at gunpoint, both by the government and by the, well, I was going to say both by the government and the Fulani headsmen, but then of course the government and the Fulani headsmen are one and the same. Look, one thing with this president and the national secretary of the party has said a bit of that. You cannot intimidate Buhari. You cannot bully him. A lot of these people who are calling for secession are the problem of this country. And I am happy that reasonable opinion, reasonable voices are now rising. It is not only yesterday we were reading Afenifere, the most credible faction of Afenifere, saying they were not for secession. Well, that would be, is it not yesterday? So is it not yesterday? Is it not only yesterday that we were reading Afenifere, the most credible faction of Afenifere, saying that, look at that, this is just the most ridiculous thing. So when the clamoring is there for secession, that is not the credible one. But when some subsect that they have given the usual bags of dollars then comes out as the Sabo, as Nandikalu likes to call them, when the Sabos amongst the Yorubas go and collect their dollars, and a good example of a Sabo would be somebody like Femi Fani-Kayode. So when the elements like that go and collect their dollars and then make soundings in their that is favorable towards them, then that is proof positive then that the country does not want to divide. You see the level of nonsensity that we're having to contend with within that country. What they are saying to you, in effect, by this statement, is that we hold on to this country and we will continue to hold on to it. Do your worst. So this is a do your worst that is this clownish guy is effectively saying. But let's just get the full landing of what he's saying. So let me take it from the top of that paragraph again, just to have a flow to it. A lot of these people who are calling for secession are the problem of this country. And I am happy that reasonable opinion, reasonable voices are now rising. Is it not only yesterday we were reading Afenifere, the most credible faction of Afenifere, saying they were not for secession? The Ohaneze Indigo has said this over and over again. So this thing about secession is they had used it in the past. You create secession and break Nigeria, and then you intimidate the sitting leader, and then he opens the vote and he brings money to settle people. President Buhari will not pay no one. He is not going to pay, and now it is clear that having ignored all of that, reasonable opinions are coming from some states and from some regions. So it's saying reasonable opinions are coming from all states and from all religions, but what reasonable opinion from any region or any state outside of Fulani state would find reason in the way the country is configured at the moment? 80% Fulani governance, but then of course, what Garba Shehu is having us have, that this is exactly what Nigerians have been dreaming of, that the Yoruba people, their lifelong dream is to have their space dominated by Fulanis from Abuja all the way through to their farmland, and this is exactly the life that the Yorubas and the Igbos are craving. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section, since nobody wants to click on the hyperlink to come and join me. You guys have suddenly gotten shy all of a sudden. So what are you saying? Let me just take it from the top again. So Eric Augustine, he says fools everywhere, but then he had even left that comment before the session started. Maybe he's a soothsayer and is seeing to the future that the session that is about to come is foolish. So that is Eric. He left his comment at 7:34 p.m. and this interaction started at 10:30 p.m. So it's a guy that sees into the future. Tony says hello, and hello to you, Tony. I think I've actually said hello to Tony already. Jennifer comes in, she chimes in, good evening, woman, and to everyone. So Jennifer, a regular, Chris Money, as far as IPOB is concerned, okay, Chris Money, if you don't have anything other than this singular thing that you say, then you are welcome to leave your comments, but I will not be reading them out because you have not really expanded beyond the singularity of comments that you... So last born solution, Buhari is in a trance and dreaming. Well, Buhari is away with the fairies. We all know that. This is a man that is in the advanced stages of dementia. Tayo Robinson, if Fulanis are not stopped like it was done in Central Africa, Nigeria and Nigerians can never know peace. So yes, I'm saying that. Jennifer, I still don't get it. Is it the asylum? Is it the asylum the real problem, or the security issues what they should be talking about now? So I think we get what you mean, Jennifer. Kingsland, yes, Kingsland name King Joe. Interesting names that are turned up in these sessions. Good job, one man. I really appreciate your informative platform. So thank you for that, my brother. And I hope you are subscribed. And I hope that you are all subscribed at least, and at least giving the session a thumbs up, even though you are not brave enough to click on the hyperlink to come and join me directly on the screen. Tayo, the problem of southern Nigeria is the politicians and the so-called elites and the dishonesty that has overshadowed and clouded our minds. So Stockholm Syndrome is what I said in a previous interaction, and I still maintain that position, that the populace, the general population in Nigeria, they're suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. So when I believe granting asylum is the first step, referendum is the next. So I don't know who is going to do that referendum, because the asylum, of course, is being muted in the United Kingdom, and the referendum is needed in Nigeria. So two spaces you're talking about there. Full, if this story is true, lots of things are strange about it. So expand on that. What do you find strange exactly? Okay, so he goes on to expand. So as he is expanding, let's just carry on with this narrative. Let me just see where that story is. Oh, yes. So I'm just trying to pick it up from a spot that would make it make sense. So President Buhari will pay no one. He is not going to pay, and now it is clear that having ignored all of that, reasonable opinions are coming from those states and from those regions. Now, the thing about the Southeast is part of the earlier conversation we just had now. The thing about the Southeast is part of the earlier conversation we just had now. Criminals. So this these people are so funny, man. So let me take that again. Now, the things about the Southeast is part of the earlier conversation we just had now. Criminals are fighting to gain the upper hand, but I tell you that no criminal or terrorist is bigger than this country. So effectively, that is just the disregard that they are throwing, they're just waving them. This is what they are doing to the eastern region. They're just get out of here. This because if they are disregarding them as just petty criminals and terrorists, then that's just get out of my sight. You smelly, get out. So that is what he's saying. But let's see how he lands it. So yes. Let me just take it from that paragraph again. Now, the thing about the Southeast is part of the earlier conversation we just had now. Criminals are fighting to gain the upper hand, but I tell you that no criminal or terrorist is bigger than this country. None of them is mightier than our armed forces. This structure has been there. They were certified and praised for the First World War, the Second World War. They stabilized the entire West African region. Without Nigeria, there would be without Nigeria, would there be Liberia in its present form? Would there be Sierra Leone in its present form? Even Gambia? So just give it time and support and pray. We will win against these forces. So it sounds as though they are taking the Eastern Security Network, they're taking them head on, even though they had previously disregarded them as non-existent. The governors in the Southwest, we have heard the governors in the Southwest, we have all heard them. They have denounced all of these things. So it is a sham. Nigerians want to be one. They want to continue. Yes, there are problems, and we're hoping that as people united and loving of one another, we will come together and solve our problems. And that leads me to the next question, whether there should be a national conference. What national conference do more than a parliament? So that should be what would. So I read it as it should read. What would a national conference do more than a parliament? Anyone who is a Democrat at heart, in practice, in their belief, they should believe in the tripartite structure of the government. Governments that are democratic, there must be a parliament, the executive arm of the government, and the judiciary, each one being independent and cooperating with the other. We have an elected parliament, which mandate is to be custodians of the sovereignty of the Nigerian people. Look, a lot of these people who are crying for this secession are unelectable. So we pause there really just to reflect on that. So what he's saying is that is just another move for power, this call for secession. So in effect, he's saying that if I can, let me remove this comment. So he's saying in effect that if KANU puts himself up, for instance, or Sunday Igboho, if they put themselves up for election, is not really referencing Sowore because he had the cojones to put himself up for election. But he said that if these characters, if they put themselves up for election, they can never win whatever seat that they're contesting for. So they are trying a backdoor route to access power. So that is what you have to read into that comment of describing the people agitating for secession as people who cannot really be elected. So we take that again. Look, a lot of these people who are crying for this secession, look, a lot of these people who are crying for this secession are unelectable. If you think you are electable, go around for a parliamentary seat, whether House of Representatives or Senate, and come and table an amendment to the Constitution. The process is ongoing as we speak now under the Deputy Senate President. They are calling for memoranda. Why can't you present what you want? So the issue is that people who are not Democrats want a parallel parliament to be set up, and this Constitution does not recognize two parliaments in this country. So effectively, he's describing then that round, because this national conference that people are calling for is effectively a round table sitting down of all of the composing structures, all of the composing ethnicities within the Nigerian space to come and sit down and discuss exactly, one, if they want Nigeria, and two, what form they want it to take. So this is the request. But then, of course, even in this climate, when people are at daggers drawn, the Buhari regime still does not see this as something that is feasible or reasonable. So this is the comment that is coming out of the Aboki quarters. We carry on. We have one parliament that is sovereign, that is the custodian of the sovereignty of the Nigerian people. If your member representing you has failed to present this request that you want, whether it is to change, whether it is a change of the structure at the state, local government, or national level, pull him out 4 years after, don't vote for him. Put another representative who will do what you want. This is how democracy works. Periodic elections, he stated. We have to recall, of course, who is doing the speaking. This is Garba Shehu, a semi-illiterate. This is the same person that was lecturing Governor Akeredolu on law and constitutionality. This Garba Shehu, of no known credential, lecturing Governor Akeredolu, a senior advocate of Nigeria and the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association. He was lecturing him on constitution and law. So a total fool, of course. These are Garba Shehu, but then of course, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. Let's just round this off and then see what you guys are saying. If you guys are not clicking on the hyperlink, then that means this session will be a lot shorter than previous ones. He noted that no government has done for Nigeria what Buhari has done since he took over power in 2015. Garba added that President Buhari is committed to doing more for Nigerian people. Meanwhile, Rivers State Governor Wike has declared that he is anticipating political persecution from opponents once his tenure ends in 2023. So that is how it usually goes. When you come out of office, you go straight into the EFCC facilities. He, however, added that he's prepared for whatever may come his way and has started preparations for such scenario already. Wike, who revealed that he has already moved out of Government House in Rivers State, even before the expiration of his tenure, noted that those in power do not like those who speak the truth, but he won't because of fear bent to anyone's wishes. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All these soundings against Buhari is expecting the flogging as soon as it comes out of power, and as I said, straight to EFCC detention facility. Of course, we've already been down that route. Go and speak to Ayodele Fayose, etc. So the hyperlink again, in case anybody wants to come on, there was a guy called Tony that did click on, but his device did not quite link with the streaming. So if you want to come on board and voice your views, then that is the hyperlink to do that. But let's see what you guys are saying anyway. Bear with me, I'm just trying to see where we last stopped. Okay, we last stopped with Fu saying that there was a lot of strange things about Britain opening up an asylum space for distressed IPOB members. So one, why now? Why is the British doing this now? Is it because Yoruba has joined for Yoruba Nation? I don't think it's anything to do with that, you know, my friend. You have to understand, one, that Britain is under a new dispensation, which is Boris Johnson, and of course, he has his own lilt on political leanings, and Britain also has more intelligence on Nigeria than even the Nigerian state. So they have a reading and a sounding of what is on the ground, and that, of course, informs their political maneuverings. So it might well or might not well be for reasons that you stated, but I doubt if it's for those reasons. But then, of course, so many permutations in the calculation. Henry, this is, let me be putting you up in case you do decide to watch back, then you can see your comments on the screen. So this is Henry. They kept on saying Nigeria is one. I asked myself, are they stupid? So, well, you know, I don't know where to go with that one. So we just leave that hanging there. Fu again, too, only an idiot will listen to Britain at this time. I have to say on the rounds, I agree, because Britain will only really seek to continue to take free oil from Nigeria, and anything that allows that to happen is what they will do. So Pri says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Pri. Kingsley chimes in, asylum is not the solution. We need Biafra country, period. Well, you know, that we know already. And even if we don't know, you tell us 1,000,001 times anyway. See why referendum is the only way forward for Nigeria. So, well, yes, I think I agree. I think everybody agrees with that, actually, but will it happen is the question. You've already seen how they've just completely disregarded it out of hand in that last piece that I just read out. Do we have to accept Fulani by force? Well, you are accepting Fulani by force already because the Fulanis are holding on to you by force. Henry, politicians want to, one, I'm not sure, I don't know. Maybe you want to rewrite that and re-comment it or repost it. Fu, 3, Britain should go and worry about her pullout from the European Union. If Britain has the right and prerogative to pull out of the European Union, then Yoruba and Biafra have the right and choice to pull out of Nigeria. There is no arguing with that. That makes infinite sense. But then, of course, the standards are always double when it comes to black people and white people. So double standards. Henry chimes in again. Politicians want to be one. Why should I be surprised? Ha ha ha. So what is the context of that? Because I don't get the background of that comment. So maybe if you want to flesh it out, then of course we'll see if we can make more sense of it. So Michael, many of us has been in asylum. Yes, exactly. Michael, I couldn't have put it better myself. Is the entirety of Nigeria itself, is it not just one giant asylum? So here is Fu again. 4, the North and Britain can combine and form one nation after Yoruba and Oduduwa are gone from Nigeria. Well, they're welcome to do whatever they want to do as soon as we have been able to extricate ourselves from their clutches. Michael, that is rubbish. We are working with insincere politicians. So, Michael, you have to give context to what you're saying, because if you make that sort of statement in isolation, then we will struggle to give reason to it. When Nigerians is not one, you cannot have 80% of Fulani-dominated government. That is not a true representative of Nigeria, or a true representative of Nigeria. Up Biafra, up Oduduwa, period. So that is what our WEM has to say. And then Jenny rounds off the comments before I go on to the next story. So this is what Jennifer has to say. I don't think waiting for the intervention of the United Kingdom or the United Nations before taking the Boko Haram administration down will help the division in that country called Nigeria. So now this person is wanting me to say this thing, and if I read it out, then of course I would have said it. So some peppy little young person sort of gameplay in there. So we just leave that to one side. It's not anything offensive that is asking me to say. Like somebody, let me use an instance. If somebody says, writes on the screen, can you say my name is Michael now? And then you read it out and then you say, no, I will not say it. You've already said it. So this is the sort of game that, but I've put him up on the screen so you can see what what little peppy little game he is trying to play. So we round off with the Pantami story. This is something that has been recurring on this channel over the past few days. The terrorist that is in charge of Nigeria's digital communication, etc., etc. So that is the thing. I'm going to remove this thing from my screen. Actually, it's a bit, you know, weird looking. Let me put the hyperlink again. I'm still determined to tease somebody to come on the screen. As soon as one person comes on the screen, actually, then a stream of people want to come on. But then, of course, to tease the first person to come on, that's always a bit, you guys need finessing before you chime in. So let's go and see how and when somebody warned Jonathan and Buhari regarding the terrorists in charge of Nigeria's digital economy. Jonathan and Buhari ignored my warnings about Pantami's alleged terrorism ties. A headline attributed to a Borno cleric, Jonathan and Buhari ignored my warnings about Pantami's alleged terrorism ties. A Borno cleric saying this. So now let's now see how this evolves. The Director General, Center for Justice on Religion and Ethnicity in Nigeria, Kalamu Musa Ali Dekwa, has wrote 3 times bear with me. The Director General, Center for Justice on Religion and Ethnicity in Nigeria, Kalamu Musa Ali Dekwa, has said he wrote 3 times to Nigerian government over the alleged ties the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, has with terrorism. Pantami is being accused of being sympathetic to terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, based on his preachings in the late 90s and early 2000s, with many calling for his resignation. Dekwa, in a letter seen by correspondents, said his warning against the cleric turned public servant was ignored by the Nigerian government on 3 occasions. The cleric, according to an online medium, said he wrote the first letter addressed to the Nigerian government in 2012 during the President Goodluck Jonathan-led administration and was invited to stand as a witness in the trial, but the case was struck out thereafter. So I never knew that there was a case against this guy, so I have to go and investigate that and bring it to you if there's any substance to it. According to him, he wrote another letter in 2018 during the first term of President Muhammadu Buhari. He said he was invited to record the letter and the VCDs attached and warned never to write such again. The pastor, who hails from Dikwa local government area of Borno. So when they said the cleric, I just automatically assumed that he would have been an Islamic cleric, but of course, coming from Borno, that is the assumption that you would make, but alas, a pastor. So the pastor, who hails from the Dikwa local government area of Borno, said he wrote again in 2020, but the letter was never acknowledged. Since the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, I have written letters to the security agencies and the President of the Senate concerning the activities of Sheikh Isa Ali Pantami, the present Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Sanusi Khalil, Sani Yahaya. So it goes on to list some names. Kabir Gombe, sorry, let me just so he goes on to list a series of names on how they are terrorizing Nigerians and doing the same activities of Boko Haram terrorists in the name of working for President Muhammadu Buhari to take over power. And I submitted the letters with VCDs. So that VCDs, I'm assuming, are like some sort of like a video capture. So I submitted the letters with VCDs showing the activities of the aforementioned persons. SR quoted him as saying, the former Senate president forwarded them, those are evidence, the former Senate president forwarded them to the chairman, Senate Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Senator Mohammed Magoro, Senator Magoro, vice chairman of the committee, Senator Saleh Meina, and the committee secretary, Umar, invited me and we met. They agreed to take the matter to court, and I was the one who was going to stand for the case, and I had agreed to do so, but till date, nobody invited us again. They replied to our letters from the two chambers of the National Assembly, dated letter from the Senate President was 29/2/2012, and the other one was from Chairman, House Committee on Public Petitions Committee, is Honorable CID, and then he gives the name. But recently, it was reported that the United States had put the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy on the watch list of terrorists in Nigeria. Although the minister came out and gave Nigerians meaningless excuses, but he and his friends, including Mr. President, know within themselves that what the United States said was very right. So this is somebody that has been alarming. He has written to the president, several presidents, in fact, but then, of course, it amounts to nothing, as it often does, because, of course, what this guy is actually saying, is that this Isa Pantami has been engaged in terrorist activities for a very long time, especially under the Goodluck Jonathan regime, and his reasoning for carrying out those terrorist activities was to frustrate the Jonathan regime and bring about the Buhari regime, which is, of course, what ultimately happened. And of course, it looks as though it is the reward for that that is the ministerial position that he has now. But what activities exactly? Because this cleric now is aligning the activities that was carried out by Pantami and his friends. He gave a list of the names of the friends, but I didn't bother to read that because those heavy-going Hausa names. But what this guy is saying is that the activities of Pantami and his friends is akin to the activities of Boko H. So if the activities of Pantami and his friends is akin to the activities of Boko Haram, and we already, by evidence, almost on a daily basis, are aware of what Boko Haram do and are capable of, then that then tells you that this guy is a real steeped in the wool, die-hard fundamentalists. This is really who we have as the person in charge of the Nigerian database, as Deji Adenyoju described it. So it carries on. Let me actually see what you guys pardon me. Let me actually see what you guys are making of it. So we go to African Day. Why are the Fulanis afraid of having their own sovereign state? Must they attach their livelihood on others? The Fulanis are not really afraid of having their own sovereign states. You have to understand what is going on. The Fulanis are by nature and history and culture, they are nomadic people, so they don't even consider any space their own sovereign space. They consider wherever they roll their cattle to be their space, and they take ownership of that space by force. So this is what has been their history, and this is what is still occurring till date. The Fulanis also have their oligarchs, they have the oligarchy of the Fulani pyramid. They have a broader agenda. You'll remember that Uthman Danfodio said that he will not be satisfied until he's able to dip the Quran into the sea. Uthman Danfodio is from Borno, you have to understand, and there is no sea in Borno. So when he's saying that he will not be satisfied until he's able to dip his Quran into the sea, he's saying then that it is his intention to conquer land from where he is up to the sea coast. Where is the sea coast? Is in Lagos. So you can see already that this thing is just bigger than the Fulanis not wanting their country. The Fulanis already have their country. What they want is your country to add on to their country and continue to have permanent dominion over you. This is what they are. They are warlike people, and you are seeing it flesh out now. So don't be conflated. African Day. Who has anything else to say? Okay. Anti-Mall. When you say you are not afraid of someone, yeah, well, that's you have to expand on that because you've not landed that anywhere. African Day, Chad people didn't wait for France to deal with parasite Idris Deby. So it looks as though they have done away with their president in Chad, RIP to the fella. Book of Rebellion, the reps, Senate governors, and their associates are the one perpetrating Nigeria. Well, of course, because it serves their self-interest. We already know this. We already know, of course, that that endless dollars that they collect every day is very difficult to walk away from. Bob chimes in, can you believe it? My wife coughed today in the grocery store and her oh God, my man, this is not what we're doing here. I wonder, this might well be the first time that I'm going to start banning people from this platform. So we're not really about that sort of life, my man. Let me see. So I'm able to put somebody on timeout. So I'll put you on timeout. Yes, Book of Rebellions. Okay, yeah, we've seen that. Okay, so nobody else with anything else to chime in. So let's just round off this narrative, and then we'll seek to round off the session. We're talking about the cleric that exposed Pantami, but nevertheless, they never did anything about it. So let me just, I'm just looking for where that story is. Okay, yeah, there it is. I have so many things opened up on my screen because I'm going from sequence to sequence. So yes, let me take it from this paragraph. But recently, it was reported that the United States had put the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy on the watch list of terrorists in Nigeria. Although the minister came out and gave Nigerians meaningless excuses, but he and his friends, including Mr. President, know within themselves that what the United States said was very true. But we are now hearing that the Buhari government will use some of the Christians amongst the Executive Council, such as the Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo and Minister of Foreign Affairs, to discuss with the United States authorities to cover up the secret and change the story. According to them, Yemi Osinbajo is a very close friend of the minister, Issa Pantami. A part of the letter shared with correspondents read, in the same vein, Dr. Issa Ibrahim Pantami preached to his followers in Bauchi that Governor David Jonah Jang had urged the federal government to declare a state of emergency in Bauchi State because of Kalakato and Boko Haram. According to Issa Pantami, all the killings of Muslims in Plateau State were perpetrated by Governor Jonah David Jang and some other person whose name I will not attempt. Dr. Pantami said, according to Daily Trust newspaper, as captured in the column of the current Minister of Education, MALLAM Adamu, out of 3,000 people killed in Plateau State, 2,800 were Muslim. So when you say somebody is stoking the embers of division and war, these are quite potent words this is what Pantami is alleged to have said back in those days, the pre-Buhari days, when he was a real fanatical extremist. He was saying out of 3,000 people that are killed in Plateau State, 2,800 are Muslims. So what is that? That is a dog whistle to wade upon that space. So this is the sort of element that we're talking about. According to Pantami, Governor Jang and Bauchi State CAN, that's Christian Association of Nigeria chairman, and some Christian leaders held meeting in Lagos with journalists at Sheraton Hotel to plan how to kill Muslims in this country. Pantami said when the last 2010 crisis started, the Sultan of Sokoto called Governor Jonah Jang on the phone over 20 times, and Jang refused to answer the Sultan's call. Dr. Ali Pantami said all Muslims must buy weapons to fight Christians in this country. This is the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy that is saying this. And this guy, by the way, he's still in situation, is still in his post. Dr. Ali Pantami said all Muslims must buy weapons to fight Christians in this country. It is regrettable that as president, you could appoint this kind of extremist and fanatical Islamic scholar, Dr. Issa Ibrahim Ali Pantami, as Director General of National Information Technology Agency. So this was even before he became a minister. So they cannot claim not to be aware of this guy, because everybody had been warning them, not less this cleric from Borno State. So let me pick. It is regrettable that as president, you could appoint this kind of extremist and fanatical Islamic scholar, Dr. Issa Ibrahim Ali Pantami, as Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, who hates and pathologically dislikes Christians and any non-Muslim person. Mr. President, you also reappointed him as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2019. It should be noted that the above-mentioned names, Islamic clerics such as Sheikh Sani Jigar, Sheikh Abubakar Gero, Sheikh Sanusi Khalib, and Dr. Issa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, only promote hate speeches and always motivate and incite their adherents to kill Christians, and this is well known to security agencies. Unfortunately, and sadly enough, the appropriate security agencies have failed to act decisively. We submitted copies of CD plates of their teachings and recommended that they should be arrested and prosecuted accordingly. The Kwa warned that Nigerians should be careful about linking their mobile phone numbers to their national identity number as required by the government. He alleged that it will enable bandits, killer headsmen, and Boko Haram terrorists to prey on Nigerians using their information after the current leaders have left the government. And this is really where the concern is, because of course this Daniel, if you read, I'm going to post the hyperlink again. Daniel, if you re-click on it, then you might well be able to come on stream. I am quite keen for somebody to come on screen, but then of course it looks as though when I'm reading the thing, people click on the hyperlink and then they lose connection. So if you want to come on stream, Daniel, then you can click on the hyperlink, or whoever else is brave enough to come on screen. This is really what makes the program. So the session rather. Sometimes these sessions, it goes well into 2 hours and I have to cut it off at the 2-hour mark. It's not that I'm able to talk endlessly for 2 hours, but it is because the panel has assembled and there are so many opinions wanting to be heard that we just don't know when the time runs out. But then, of course, if I'm just soliloquizing, monologuing, and preaching and sermonizing, then of course I can only do that for so long, and then I just abandon it and say my goodbyes. So if you want to click on the hyperlink and come and participate directly, then you're more than welcome to do that. But let's see what you are saying by way of participation in the comment section anyway. Okay. Let's take it from Michael. So this is Michael. The conspiracy of the Fulanis to conquer everyone has ruined everything, both for them and the entire country. You see, that is exactly the thing, Michael. They are not going to succeed, of course, in conquering anybody, but then the country will not progress. So what we'll just have is a lot of death and destruction before some form of rescue comes, either organically from the people, because of course, as they continue to wait and wait and wait, people will then find within them a system to resist, because of course, everybody has abandoned the Nigerian state now that everybody has abandoned the Nigerian state now because they know that the government is not there to assist them. Even when they are forced to capture these people, is usually catch and release. So this is the thing. So we're now getting to that point where the Nigerian populace have to revert to self-help and defend themselves, because it is essentially, in fact, it is factually the case that they'll be fighting for their lives. So people are fighting effectively for their lives within the Nigerian space, is what is happening at the moment. Read my post about Pantami, is what African Day said. I've already read your post, African Day. African Day continues. Buhari vowed to support Boko Haram and was made spokesman of the terrorist group, but is still in the United States good book. And there's a lot to what African Day is saying. Buhari, you'll recall during the throes of this Boko Haram thing during the Goodluck Jonathan time, they got to an impasse when they decided that negotiation was the way, and the government was ready, and the government invited Boko Haram to select their team. The name put forward by Boko Haram to go negotiate with the government on their behalf was none other than the president that you have in situation today. So MALLAM Buhari was the nominated spokesperson for Boko Haram during Goodluck Jonathan's regime, but it will have it be the case that he's fighting terrorism now. So it would be funny if it wasn't so sad, if it wasn't so tragic. It would be something to laugh at. This is Fu again. Britain should give asylum to Pantami and to all Fulanis worldwide. Yes, this is something we would like to see. Sorry, somebody's just saying something to me in like a private chat. You know, you have access to some sort of like a private chat to me as well if you want to say something, but not necessarily to public glare. Let's see, where were we? Who were we on? We're on Fu. So, yeah, so that is what Fu has to say. African Day, Bola Tinubu also heard all Buhari said and his vow to sponsor terrorism, yet he went ahead to make him APC leader and president. Well, Bola Tinubu, you have to understand, he's playing a different gambit. he needed to use Buhari to force Goodluck Jonathan out of office. But what Bola Tinubu thought was that he had sufficient to manipulate Buhari throughout his tenure, and then, of course, take over as soon as Buhari's time is up. But really, what has fallen short for Tinubu was that before Tinubu could seize complete control of the Buhari administration, the Fulanis had already seized control of it. So they gathered around him and they used then language, ethnicity, and religion to tie him down. You have to have the thought that Buhari is effectively a prisoner within that space. He's surrounded by a very tight-knit team of people, and that team is the only voice that he hears. He doesn't hear any other voice outside of that. His private secretary, his confidant, his advisors, his kitchen cabinet, they are all that one voice, which is Hausa Fulani, and they just continue to churn at him that narrative of beware of the other. The other, of course, being Tinubu, Oshibanjo, etc., etc. So this is a guy that is effectively a captive within the space that he occupies. But we carry on. So that is our African Day. Let's. So Michael, this government assembled all the criminals to pilot the affairs of this country called Nigeria, and they turned everything upside down. Well, everything is upside down, as our Governor Obaseki told us, to the point that they've spent all the money and stolen everything, and they are now just printing paper money, Zimbabwe style. So that's a book of a rebellion. Buhari, terror minister, on U.S. no-fly list. I don't know where you're getting that one from. So the last comment in this sequence, Tayo Robinson, Buhari wants to use Yoruba and Igbo to cover Fulani, and I'm sure they will go for it, despite the fact that Fulani Pantami is after Christians. So make sense of that if you can, but I have to reflect on that to make sense of it. So let's just round off with this now. Preacher man that is seeking to expose Pantami. Dikwa warned that Nigerians should be careful about linking their mobile phone numbers to their national identification numbers as required by the government. He alleged that it would enable bandits, killer headsmen, and Boko Haram terrorists to prey on Nigerians using their information after the current leaders have left the government. So that is a very important point, because all of the information that they are gathering at the moment, they are gathering it and they have total control over it. So if they are using it or they are intending to use it for nefarious purposes, they can easily move this information. You have to understand that Niger Republic is a satellite country for the Fulanis. They have total dominion over that space. Buhari effectively appoints the president of that country. The new president that is just appointed, he is in Abuja now, coming to collect bags of dollars and say thank you. And the outgoing president, which Buhari also appointed, Buhari actually renamed the biggest and most important road in Abuja after the outgoing president of Niger Republic. Not after Obafemi Awolowo, no. Not after Aminu Kano, no. It's not as though we have enough heroes in Nigeria to name roads after. This guy named it after his clansmen in Niger Republic. We, of course, know that he's building Fulani Railway in Niger Republic. So the point that I'm looking to land on is, when this non-fundamentalist is in charge of gathering all these data about Nigeria and Nigerians, and you're saying, never mind, they're only there for an additional 2 years, they have a satellite shadow of these systems in their home state, which is Niger Republic, and they can just migrate all of your data to their database in Niger Republic, and then, of course, they will just be popping you off one by one with all of the information that they already have on you. If your national identification number is linked to your telephone number, and your telephone number has your image, your age, gender, and home address, nobody is now going to start moving from their home to another home because this information is not out there. So they effectively have all of the information of Nigerians on their database, which is of course a terrorist database, because the person superintending this collation of this data is a known international terrorist to the point that is on the United States terrorist watch list. So this is effectively what this CLERIC is alarming us to. But then, of course, is it too late? Let's just round off this narration as we seek to round off the live streaming. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so we take it from here. He alleged that it would enable bandits, killer headsmen, and Boko Haram terrorists to prey on Nigerians using their information after the current leaders have left the government. They are also looking to change the names of these terrorist groups that they are using now to a different name. Federal government knows where these terrorists are staying. They meet with leaders of these terrorist groups anywhere and anytime. Dr. Ahmed Gumi and Professor Umar Yusuf meet with the Northwest terrorist groups, so-called bandits and kidnappers, and give feedback to the federal government on what the bandits and kidnappers want from the government. So why is it that the government has continued to deceive Nigerians? Also, members of the DSS, Department of State Services, and military are the ones always escorting members of non-governmental organizations like Khartoum Foundation to receive kidnapped victims from ASWAP and Boko Haram terrorists after the families have paid millions of naira in ransom. So that is the end of that, but then of course, just the beginnings of matters. This is the goings on within the Nigerian space. A total, it's a terrorist state in effect, the Nigerian state. Now, we have to say that, we have to conclude that the Nigerian state is in fact, indeed, a terrorist state. Let's see what Noble, as I read through the comments, then I'll seek to round off the interaction. So bear with me one moment. So this is a Nobleman Wisdom. This is Nobleman Wisdom. My brother, do you believe that is diet? So what is diet? I'm not quite sure what we are making of that. Fu comes back. Fulani will fail in Nigeria. Anybody supporting Fulani in Yoruba land or Biafra land is our enemy that we will chase down to the pit of hell. So that is what he has to say. So African Day, why no one is talking about the National Treasury set on fire after looting the coffers? It seems Nigerians forget too quickly heavy crimes, or the government is using minor crimes to derail attention. Well, I think you've answered your question there. It's a saga and a drama a minute within the Nigerian space. So who can really keep up is the question. It's just every single minute there's another different set of alarming stuff going on. I'm still hopeful of somebody clicking on the hyperlink before we round off, but that doesn't look so likely anymore. Tayo chimes in, Tinubu was not wrong to get Jonathan out because Jonathan was sectional during his administration by sidelining the Yorubas. So you're exactly right. The Goodluck Jonathan regime was the worst regime for the Yorubas in terms of national appointments in the history of that country. It was almost a Yoruba-free zone that Goodluck Jonathan ran, similarly to how MALLAM Buhari is running an Igbo-free zone now. There was no Yoruba appointee in the entirety almost of Goodluck Jonathan's regime. So yes, so there is that. And the irony of it was that Goodluck Jonathan, he gave everything, every single appointment to the North, thinking that if he gave them enough, they would let him continue. But then, of course, the Fulanis, if they are noted for anything, that would be treachery. So, so yes, good point, Tayo. Nobleman, my brother, do you believe that Buhari is normal? Please, we're not doing that here, my brother. We're not doing Dubril at Sudani. We're not doing shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. We're not doing basement in Cuba and all this. We're not doing any of that here. This is a serious, the matters in Nigeria are serious enough for us, for us not to feel the need to make up all these silly little narratives, Jubril al-Sudani, shallow grave in Saudi Arabia, and a silicon mask. So none of that here. And this sister of peace, Jonathan government was the worst looters. Well, I think you'll find that the Buhari administration are equal contenders. Michael, men of questionable characters are always been appointed in Nigeria. Where are the good ones? Well, the good ones are either in some abroad or, you know, making money off the bad ones, I should imagine. I don't think anybody with any sense will want to be involved in the governance of Nigeria, given the landscape as it is. So nobleman again, unknown gunmen is on rampage. Please pray for us. So where is the unknown? Look at that. Look, this is the sort of comment that baffles me. So here is a guy posting this comment on the internet saying unknown gunmen are on rampage. Please pray for us. So now where exactly is that? Is that in Berlin, in Germany? Is that in Tokyo, in Japan? Is that in Timbuktu? Is that in the Outer Mongolia? Or where is that? Is that in Somalia? So what exactly is anybody meant to make of that sort of a statement? So we take this last comment from a Book of Rebellion, and then we'll seek to round off. So Book of Rebellion, Niger is Nigeria's, Niger is Buhari's paternal country. He owes a lot to Naime. So, yes, there's no disagreeing with that. Buhari is not really a Nigerian. He may well have been born in Nigeria. I'm not really of any fixed thoughts on that. But the bulk of his family, they are from Niger Republic. There's absolutely no refuting that. That is where he is from. And he has said that himself. I actually did a video once on that admission that he made. It's not even an admission because I don't think he's particularly tried to make it a particular secret. The bulk of Buhari's extended family, they are in and from Niger Republic. This is where he's ancestrally from. Maybe his family would have migrated into the Nigerian space and he may have been birthed in Katsina. But let's say, for instance, let's say I was born in Benin Republic, for instance, and that qualifies me to be a Benin Republic citizen. But my family for 5, 10, 100 generations, countless generations, 500 years, we've been from Oyo-Alafin. So does me then being born in Benin Republic, in Benin Togo, does that then make me suddenly not somebody from Oyo-Alafin? When all of my family is from there, the history of my family is from there, the ancestry that I carry is from there, and I just happen to be born in Togo or Benin. So this is the Buhari narrative, irrespective of where Buhari was born. He is ancestrally from Niger Republic and is by inclination and in his heart from Niger Republic. This is why we see him gifting half of the Nigerian sovereign wealth to Niger Republic, and is using Nigeria's wealth to build infrastructures in Niger Republic to the point that they are migrating Nigerian data even to their database in Niger Republic. So it's to all intents and purposes a man from Niger Republic. But then, of course, Sani Abacha also was not a Nigerian. I think a few of us know that, if not all of us. Let's see. The offer is still there if anybody wants to click on the hyperlink and come join. But then, of course, that's really not likely to happen. Jennifer, I see no reason waiting for this bad Boko Haram and his cabal to carry on their bad intention before taking a drastic action against them. The time is no more on our side. So yes, well, so what actions then are you see, this is the funny thing. I always say this, people sit in the comforts of their nice little homes and with their internet charged up, calling for revolution. So if somebody else's son, of course, that you're expecting to go on the streets to go and get mowed down, like it all gets style. So if you then take the first march, then maybe people will march behind you. So yeah, very easy to be a revolutionary behind a keyboard. So Sub Lloyd is this person now. I wanted to commend your unwavering effort in keeping us posted on current events in the contraption called Nigeria. Keep it up. More strength to you. And cheers. So I think that is a good point to land it on. Commendation, that sounds like a pat on the back. So we will leave it there because it doesn't look as though anybody wants to come on stream. And I've been talking for, well, going on an hour and a half now. And I think I'm all talked out and I've even exhausted my water. So I will round it off there. So the stories, the narrations that we have gone through, federal government tackles United Kingdom on asylum to IPOB members. So the federal government, by way of, what is his name, the tribal marked guy from Kwara State, Lai Mohammed, so they are going after the United Kingdom for deeming to provide asylum for persecuted members of the indigenous people of Biafra. And then, of course, we heard Buhari take a position. I say Buhari take a position is, of course, Garba Shehu that is speaking, but nevertheless, he claims that he speaks for his principle when he does speak. And they are saying, forget any ideas of any secession and forget any ideas of any national conference. They will carry on as they are, and they believe that Nigeria is united in spite of what people are experiencing on the ground. So finally, we landed on a cleric. We thought it was a Muslim cleric, but alas, it's a pastor who has come out from Borno State, to say that he has been alarming about this Pantami since the days of Goodluck Jonathan, that this guy is steeped in the wool, hand-soaked in blood, beheading, head-chopping of terrorists to the core. This is Pantami, and it alarms that this guy now is in charge of Nigeria's database. So this is the situation that we find ourselves, and this has been the narration for this session. Oh, I think we've got somebody finally. Hello, Emmanuel, how are you?
How you doing, man? I'm fine, thank you.
I'm good. I was just about to give up on you guys and round off. You guys are shying away from me these days. What says you? I'll give you the floor to introduce yourself, just to give me the chance to get water. So introduce yourself, tell us how you are positioned in the narrative, and then we'll take it from. So off you.
Yeah, hi guys, how you doing? My name is Emmanuel. I'm from Abia State, and I live in the UK. Actually, I just have a question to ask, because I just came in now. The last time I listened to your program, I actually enjoyed the conversations from a few guys. It was very, very good. I grabbed a few things. You know, they made a whole lot of points, and it was good. I even called a friend and was like, you know, I listened to this guy on YouTube, and some guys around, or some guys that talked on the show.
It talks a lot of sense. You told your friend that I talk a lot of sense, didn't you?
Well, you know, it's a good show, no doubt. You know, yeah, I enjoyed it. I just want to ask you, like, you know, what's your take on Nigeria at the moment?
Well, my thing for Nigeria really is not really that different from a lot of the sentiments that is out there. I see Nigeria as a missed opportunity, not just for Nigerians, but for the entirety of the Black race, because the biggest opportunity for the Black race to come up is vested within the Nigerian state. We have the size, we have the resources, we have the confidence, we have everything to be the come up, to be the one superstar amongst the one Black superstar country, which will then serve as an example to other Black people all over the world and Black countries to come up. So Nigeria essentially a missed opportunity, but then of course we have now gotten to that point where the fault lines are so marked. I don't think a change of our government, I don't think even if we have an Igbo president, the call for the balkanization of the country will end, because people are absolutely and categorically, this is just my opinion, and you're welcome to disagree. People are just absolutely and categorically fed up with the state of that country. I mean, if you cannot, I remember back in the day, we live in Ikeja and we have country homes in Oyo, etc. My father can get bored at 8:30 p.m. in the evening, pop straight into his car and drive 45 minutes. It's just 45 minutes to Ibadan to his house is there. So you dare even drive to, if the road, the potholes in the road don't kill you, then Boko Haram, it's just a mess. We are playing Russian roulette with your life as soon as you step out of your house within the Nigerian space. But then again, you are also playing Russian roulette even in your own house with your life within the Nigerian space. It's just a wild country. This is the thing, or maybe it's just the alarmist news that we're hearing, because still people are living there and they're living to ripe old ages. But of course, it's just an alarming situation. So that is my take. Oduduwa Republic, of course, I am an Oyo man from Oyo Alaafin, and the Oyo people, we don't really take very well to have dominion over us. So we don't take very well to being held down as we are being held down now. The Oyo man leads from the front, and of course, that has to happen within a structure that they define. Oduduwa, we take back Benin Republic and Togo and have a wider Oduduwa nation. So that is my own sentiment. But I feel frustrated about the idea of Nigeria just for the missed opportunity that I've just described. Imagine if they get Nigeria right. Imagine, I remember when the Naira was changing, it was like 80 kobo to a pound or so. And then when it got very expensive, they were changing a pound for one Naira 20 kobo, and people were outraged. This is within my lifetime, you know. So it's depressing. What says you? So let's acknowledge Isaac, and then we'll have you comment. Isaac, you decided to join us at last. Unmute yourself and say hello.
Isaac, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Were you playing hard to get before? Were you waiting to be teased to come out? So I just wanted to acknowledge you. Let Emmanuel have his say, and then we come chat with you properly.
It's just that I just finished work, so that's why.
Oh no, I'm only joking. You're not obliged. Emmanuel is just Emmanuel. Off you go.
You know, I was just because saying things.
Sorry, let me put the same question that you put to me to you. How do you see the Nigerian state, and what do you see as the way out of
it? Looking at things currently happening in Nigeria at the moment is appalling. Like you said, there have been, how did we get to this place at the moment where, a pound was 1 Naira 20 kobo, where if you look back, 30 or 40 years ago, things were a whole lot different than it is at the moment. I don't see Nigeria, going back to where, it was, 40 years ago. With the banditry, with the Fulanis, thinking that they own Nigeria, with us not united. It's an Igbo person, it's Hausa, it's Yoruba, it's just, and also with the level of corruption, the politicians actually think that being in power means it's like a lottery ticket where they will go in and loot. There are no checks and balances. Nobody will ask any questions. It's just at times, you sit here and you ask this question, which way forward? I'm Igbo. Yes. The truth is, I would love like a Nigeria that actually works. But is it going to work? If not, what do we do?
Do you want Biafra? Well, if you have to think about it, then it's no.
I have a mixed, feelings about it. Why? NNAMDI KANU is very intelligent. But how, you know, how he runs the whole thing, especially with the way he talks, I don't really agree. Like, I might be wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No, you're entitled to your opinion.
Like it's subjective. Like, to my own like opinion. But he's intelligent. Certain things that he says, I don't agree. But at the same time, he's making a lot of waves. He is, and he's also putting our governors, he's making them to step up, to be like, okay, this is actually what is happening. But something I don't believe in. Yes, I would love it, like a Nigeria that works. But if Nigeria is not going to work, then we might as well go our separate ways.
Yes, there is almost an inevitability that we will go our separate ways. But what people are just mindful of, or even fearful of, is it having to get bloody for that to happen. Because if it gets bloody, then it's going to get genocidal, because people are heavily armed within the Nigerian space, and particularly a particular type of a specific tribe within the Nigerian space. They are heavily armed, and they are really just waiting for that trigger point to weigh against other people. Let's bring Isaac in. Isaac, say hello. If you're just coming in, then you probably don't know what the narrative is. We were talking about the usual storyline. Isaac, do we have you?
Yes, I'm here. I think I get some information. There's some points from what you have been discussing. Okay, my name is Isaac, and I'm living in Canada anyway. This has been at least the first time I will be here now anyway.
You're well known. They all know you.
So as you mentioned, I strongly believe every Nigerian citizen will love Nigeria to be one. To start with, that is if we can reach a consensus. Like me, as I'm speaking right now, it's not that in the last 2 years or 3 years, I never thought about Oduduwa nation. Even when I first hear some guys making noise about Oduduwa nation in UK, I just said, what's this people talking about? This is just rubbish. I didn't count it. But now, if they say, okay, well, we have to go and protest for Oduduwa nation, I will buy my ticket and go to Nigeria. That is how it goes to me. So I'm going to start. I'm not going to drag you back, because I see that you discussed about the minister this morning. I was at work at that time. So the minister of finance eventually admitted that money was printed.
Zainab Ahmed.
So the problem we are having is that there is no way we can trust the government anymore. That is why I refer to that. Remember, last 2 weeks, he disagreed. Oh, there was no money printed. Where did Obaseki got the information from?
So she's either telling lies. She was either telling lies then or telling lies now, because she's now saying two completely different things. She's saying they did not. Yes. So either one is a lie. She's saying they categorically did not print money, and then she's now saying yes, they printed money, but which is a total opposite. So at least a lie has been told in one instance by a minister of state to Nigerians.
Exactly. So we have been lied to for many years. So that is why nobody wants to take it now. That is what we are experiencing now, that everybody wants to go in their separate way. So they don't believe that even if anybody is coming, it's still going to be the same. Because we've been hearing this for a very long time. I listened to Dr. Ruben Abati on
Arise
TV last 3 weeks. He did mention, which I strongly believe that is exactly what is going on right now. He did mention that, many Nigerians, when they come home, they have Canadian passport, they have UK passport, they have US passport. When you ask them, where are they from? Even though they were born in Nigeria, they don't want to associate themselves with Nigeria any longer. They will be telling you, okay, I'm a Canadian.
Can you imagine during the Raj period in India? That was when India had England had United Kingdom had colony over India, when they had held India as property. They call that the Raj period in India. Throughout that period, they were living there for, I think, more than a century. They married there. They will come back to England and marry, and they will have their children there. But those children, they will ensure they speak with a crisp English accent. And if you ask those children where they're from, even if they've lived in India from birth till they are 40, they will tell you that they are Englishmen. But let a Nigeria just even get on the plane for the first time to anywhere, is already telling you that it's British before he even lands. The accent has changed, and off he goes.
That is exactly what is going on. So it is very sad. I never seen in my life for a citizen of a country to be denied that country, because that is exactly what is going on right now. I can tell you 80% of Nigerians living abroad, unless if you want to lie to ourselves, when you see them anywhere, they will say, "Oh, I'm from Canada, I'm from UK," even though it shows your place of birth, Nigeria.
Okay, so Isaac, the question that you have now put, I'm putting it to Emmanuel first, and then it's coming back to you. So, Emmanuel, how would you define yourself? You look like an Englishman to me. You sound like an Englishman. So, how would you define yourself?
No.
Are you from London?
Huh? Yes. Well, no. Like, I'm Nigerian that lives in London. No. I'm a Nigerian that lives in London. I'm a proud Nigerian, but it's sad that nowadays we don't want to identify ourselves as Nigerians, because
sometimes it's just easier. Let me just cite you this example, Emmanuel. There was a group of expats that went to, I think, Cape Verde or some island in Africa. They went as a team. I think they were under some sort of like international organization, and that comprised of a bunch of Nigerians, some Europeans, and some others. When they got into that country, they let the Europeans and others in, and they held the Nigerians back for that simple reason of that green passport. So even if you are proud of Nigeria, for reasons of expediency, sometimes you just want to say, well, Eddie, sorry, Carrie, I interrupted you.
No. The problem is we, is Nigeria as a country, due to how our leaders have turned our country into.
That is exactly what I want to say.
That has made our people to leave our country. You go to Nepal, you see Nigerians there. You go to Sri Lanka, you will see Nigerians there. You go to Iran, you will see Nigerians there. You go to Iraq, even Afghanistan, you will see.
Oh, thank you. No, stop there. I was going to land on that one that you just landed on. One of my subscribers, he DMs me on Instagram often, and we chat there. He's in Kabul. That is the capital of Afghanistan. I'm saying, my brother, of all the places on this planet, how did you end up in Kabul, in Afghanistan?
It's sad. It's sad that you see, our government have pushed out our people where they are all looking to leave Nigeria. And you see, Nigeria is a beautiful place if we're able to manage our resources well. But everybody is busy looting. It's just crazy. The level of embezzlement, it's very, very, it's horrendous. And it's not a problem, for them. If you look at people like Okorocha, to him, he's having fun.
Can I just...
sorry, we'll let Isaac come in a moment, but Emmanuel, they are going to attack you in the comments for what you just said, saying that you're proud to be, and they have already started attacking you in the comments.
That's fine.
Yeah?
No, it's fine. Listen.
Oscar is saying, let me put Oscar's question to you. Oscar is, can you see it on your screen as well? You should be able to see it. Oscar is saying, please ask Emmanuel what is proud about Nigeria. So they will just come after you. But reflect on that and let Isaac come in. Isaac,
hey,
are you a proud Canadian?
Well, I'm not that. I see old green green passport. So and I still have other places anyway. So let me just check that. Even though if I may have more than one nationality, but I still have a green passport. So there is no way if I'm going to Nigeria for now, I still have to use it. So the point I'm making is that it is very sad. Even my children that were not born in Nigeria, they love Nigeria more than anything. I can tell you, they never been to Nigeria. If they ask them from school, where are you from? They will say Nigeria. Meanwhile, they never even set their foot.
Just to that point that you're making, Isaac, I live in the United Kingdom as well. What I've noticed recently, people, Nigerian birth, in their early to mid 20s that have never been to Nigeria before, they are now making their way to Lagos by themselves, having such a good time that they're going back the next year. Now, some of us that have lived our life in Lagos, we don't even want to go anywhere near their place anymore out of just fear. But like you said, just the example you were using of your children.
So now I wanted to take them home, but I cannot. Because I cannot tell them exactly what is going on there. Even at school, when they ask them some question about Nigeria, you will see them answering questions, telling their teacher they never been to Nigeria. That's how much they love Nigeria. But I cannot be telling them what is going on in Nigeria right now, because they will be so sad. They'll be planning to go to Nigeria, but not in this situation. Anybody can take his own kid to Nigeria in this situation. Where somebody will just
an irresponsible parent, yeah.
Where they will kidnap you on the road and they will demand for ransom.
That's true.
I think Lagos is a safe enough space, you know, especially when you go to that Lekki. The only thing you have to be fearful of is what you carry, and you already know when you give them their own 1,000 naira, they are happy with that.
You can imagine that. It's just, you know, the level of everybody just wants to collect, like, you know, money from you. From that, is the airports. It's crazy.
Immediately.
Is the last 2 years I went with my wife. She's white, French, and at the airport, people were demanding for money, and she was like, "What is going on here?" The first question that she
did you not prepare her for what to expect?
I wanted her to see herself.
Okay.
So she looked at the airport and she was like, I am not impressed. Nigeria is a rich country. Why is the airport like this? Why are they not spending on this airport? Why? This
the budget for the renovation of that airport almost every single year
was embezzled, yes.
Of course.
If you would you just mention about the airport, right?
Yes.
That one is one part of it that make people sad. If you look at small islands, I'm going to use Saint Martin in Caribbean. If you go to Saint Martin, if you go to Antigua and Barbuda, you cannot compare our Lagos airport to all those small island airports.
But Isaac, Emmanuel was about to take us on a journey that from the airport. So carry on, Emmanuel. Let's hear the experience
from the airport
that your friend wife had.
She looked at the immigration was asking her like, I find out something. So she didn't understand what was going on. And then she was asking me, what are they looking for? I said, well, they're looking for money.
Dollars, of course.
So after that, the trolleys. Oh my God!
You have to pay for that.
Nigeria is one of the countries, or the only country in the whole world where you pay for trolleys at the airport.
Yes, they will even give you receipts.
They'll give you like a receipt, and then she was like, "Are we paying for these trolleys?" How come?
It's not the trolley will roll, though. It's those ones that will be sliding that you will put. It's not probably not.
You know, you look at these things, you feel ashamed.
It's a hellish experience.
You know, you feel ashamed that there's nothing good about Nigeria.
And what about when you leave that? When you leave that airport? Even getting out of that airport is a task.
Problem. People are fighting on the streets. It's just a mess. It's unorganized.
What about negotiating the MALLAMs that is wanting you to hand over money so that I can give you fake naira before you even get to your car?
You shouldn't be doing them things at the airport.
Naira, euro, dollars, anything. I give you good rate. So that already, imagine somebody going tonight. So you negotiate that, then you get into your car and you think you are off, but then you are not going anywhere because you are in go slow. And then
I must say something. Even when we say our government is corrupt, Nigerians are also corrupt. Where everybody expects money for nothing.
Can you blame them, Emmanuel? Do you have, sorry, let me put this question to you, then I'll give you the chance to answer, and then Isaac can come in as well, because I think he's keen to say something. Do you have an expectation of a Nigerian, let's say, federal government worker to live on his salary without having to be corrupt? Do you have that expectation, and what do you pin that on? Because you're saying everybody is corrupt, but then, of course, we have to understand the circumstances on the ground. So you give us that description, and then we'll have Isaac come and give us his narration from the airport to his home in Nigeria, and then we'll do it that way. So off you go, Emmanuel.
I will have to say this. As much as our government is corrupt, we all know this, we all have to play our part as well to eradicate this corruption as individuals. I will give you an instance. I'm into boxing. I'm a boxing manager and a trainer. My dream is to improve boxing in my own state first, and then in Nigeria. At some point last year, I tried to work with our commissioner for sports in Abia State. I said, okay, if you're able to give me a building where I'll be staging shows, and also I'll bring some trainers to come here and train like our boys. This is at least reduce kidnapping, banditry, even armed robbery. Say, for instance, if there are 10 guys that planned to go into armed robbery due to a lack of job or frustration, and you're able to give one a hope or a future through boxing, you have saved one life out of 10. I discussed this with our commissioner, and he told me, well, for us to do this, you have to do that. I'm not asking you to pay any money, but you have to do this. So I asked him, I said, what about the lives of our youths? Have you considered it, or is this just you alone? Well, this is Nigeria. So my question is, people like that, and today he's no longer the commissioner. So what has he achieved as a person?
Well, he has made a lot of money from his post. That is it. From taking money off people like you, that is putting pressure on. Let's put the same question to Isaac. Isaac, are you with us?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I wanted to put the same question to you. I'm saying that, and also you can give us your experience from the airport if you want. But I am saying that what is your expectation of a Nigerian government worker? Let's just say a middle-level worker, so not a permanent secretary, but not a cleaner as well, just a middle-level worker that works in an office that has some influence within that office. What is your expectation of that person? Do you expect that person to just not be corrupt? And if you expect them not to be corrupt, why do you have that expectation? So, Isaac.
Okay, thank you very much for that information. I think that will take me a few minutes, right, to answer that question, right?
Yeah, carry on.
Okay. So we have to start from the foundation of Nigeria.
Oh, you're going that far back?
No, just I will make it quick.
Okay.
If we read history of Harold Smith, the person that in charge oversee Nigeria and Ghana and West Africa during colonial era, he did mention all the population of Nigeria at that time were manipulated. So that was where the corruption started in Nigeria, because they gave Northern part about 54 million, while they gave Lagos, that was even most populous city at that time, about 20 million or 10 million or so, or less than that, or the whole western part. Okay, now let me put that aside. So that is where the problem started. British is the main architect of the whole problem that we have in Nigeria.
True.
Now, to come to the question.
No, let's get to that question that I posed, because I have a reason for posing it, and I will answer that question too. But I want to hear your answer, and then I'll give my answer, and then.
Okay. I do not expect them to do anything less than corrupt. Because
why?
The reason why I say that is that, number one, that is why I go back to that foundation. Mm-hmm. When the head is corrupt, so what do you expect from the head? I mean, when the foundation is corrupt, what are you expecting from the top? The money they are paying them is little bit money, and there's a lot of inflation that is going on. Now, when you see somebody, ordinary school sats, that is getting like in House of Assembly, let's just start from State House of Assembly, that is getting like maybe 1.something million every month. Then you have even PhD, that you are getting like maybe 200,000 per month, and that 200,000 cannot even feed you for that very month. So how do you do that? So something has to come from somewhere. And moreover, since there is no the head, when they call them red-handed, being involved in corruption, there is no justification, there is no conviction, nothing. So everybody just behaving anyhow. So if I do it, there is nothing going to happen. But if head get themselves together and they show example, they lead by example, I am telling you, nobody is going to make joke with it. We can compare what is going on right now to 70s and early 80s. And we can
let me answer that question, Isaac. I don't think that it is possible for a Nigerian government worker to be not to be corrupt. And for the simple reason, you've already captured my reason in your answer, is simply the salary. If you are saying that the minimum wage is, let's say, 30,000 naira, and let's then say the higher earner, the medium wage earner, is on about, let's say, 70, 80K. So out of that 70, 80K, this person has to pay their rent, pay for their family, eat, get transportation. Now, the prices of these things, they continue to escalate almost on a daily basis. They put up the price of petrol all the time, which then increases the price of transportation. They put up the tariff on electricity all the time, and the wages continue to stagnate in that period. You remember how the trade unions fight heavily just to get a single kobo on top of their wages, as these people continue to pile dollars in the Senate, etc. So it is just impossible just to live. You know, how much is your rent? Your rent will be about 40K. That's already gone. Your children's school fees, another 30K. That's already gone. You have to feed. You've got 10K left. You have to transport clothes. You know, you have to. It's just impossible for a salary earner within the Nigerian space not to be corrupt, just for reasons of existence alone. You cannot exist on the wages that is being paid to the Nigerian worker. So that is why the nicer ones will say, "Oga, what you get for us?" And the ones that are more brazen will just say, "We won't do it unless you pay us." It's just an impossibility, just based on their wages. Isaac?
Okay.
And then you, Emmanuel.
No, yeah. to crown your statement, I'm going to give you 2 examples. Do you know that they're supposed to pay 18,000? That was what they're supposed to pay before they move it to 30,000, right?
Yes, yes.
Then bag of rice right now is about 28,000, 30,000, 35,000.
There you go.
If you are getting 18,000 per month, 18,000 naira per month, which is less than 100 US, which is less than 50 USF. Okay, so you are getting that in a month. So remember that you have to combine your 3 months salary to buy 1 bag of rice.
There you go.
Then, do you know that some people are getting 5,000 per month?
5,000. And you are saying it should not be corrupt. How is it possible?
Naira per month.
It is an impossibility for that person not to be corrupt. It is impossible. Emmanuel, what says you?
Well, you have a point in what you're saying, but at the same time, he talked about a foundation. If the foundation is not well done, then at some point the building is going to collapse. For me, I still think that if people, yes, are trying to survive, and then they will have to be corrupt to survive. So what do we do to eradicate this corruption? Is it from the government? Are them trying not to be corrupt as well? But from their end, it's like a jamboree for them, where once you get into office, you start looting right away. So how do we tackle this? Is my question.
It's an impossible situation, because to tackle this, just to tackle that the average worker, the solution really is to have a stable economy so that prices are predictable, and then to have a living wage, not just some, because these salaries they give them, they just give them as a token, because they know full well that they have to make do of that position and exploit the public. That is effectively what the employment is within the Nigerian space. So to give them, you remember that what some of the requests of the NSAS movement was to double or triple the police salary, because the people understand that if you are paying some police officer 50, 60K, 70K, and you are giving him an AK-47 to go into the public, and he's seeing somebody that he can be his uncle driving around in a Ferrari, is going to point that AK-47 on that person driving the Ferrari and ask him to part with the contents of his wallet. So this is the thing, it's the poor wages that really that leads to the corruption at that level. But then, of course, the corruption at the top is just pure greed. We all know that. Anyone else wants to chime in before I go to the comment section? Anybody else? So if you have anything to say it. Then I'll go to the comment section. Then I'll come and take your closing thoughts. Because as ever, you guys are late to come and join me, and then we're getting towards the end. But anybody with a comment before I go to the comment section?
All right, I have a comment to make anyway, and it's just it may take another 1 or 2 minutes. So, okay,
let's do it this way. Let's take Emmanuel's closing comments and then invite him to come back tomorrow for the same time. So Emmanuel, give us your takeaway, and then we'll invite you to come back tomorrow. So give us what you'd like us to take away from this session as we say goodbye.
My take, or what I would like us to take away from this session, is to advise our leaders to at least, we know that you can't totally eradicate corruption, but reduce it to at least to the minimums where our citizens are able to survive. Nigerians want to stay in Nigeria, where they're able to feed and also to have a shelter and clothing, at least the basic things in life. This is my take. If we can't do this, then we better divide. Because if the corruption is not going to stop, then
you see, some of the things is I think Nigeria is too big a country to be managed centrally in the way that it's being managed at the moment. The country is too big and too diverse. There are over 250 sub-ethnicities within the Nigerian space. All of them robust and strong as a lot of the composing parts of Nigeria can actually be a standalone country itself. So there's too much centralized power, and even if you have a good government, to still work it will be very difficult. So they have to cede a lot of their powers to the regions. So we really have some regionalized, we really need to have some sort of like a regionalized system within the Nigerian space.
But the Fulani will not agree to it.
It's just too top heavy.
Fulani would never agree to that.
Of course, they would never agree to it. They want total. What they would prefer is to have a Fulani governor in all of the states, and then remove your Onis and your Obis and make it emirs and sultans. And
Thank you very much. What they will want. That we have in Nigeria,
and then no churches in the landscape.
If we can't achieve this, then we better divide at least in three parts: Biafra, Oduduwa, and Arawa. At least.
Are you sacrificing the Hausas then?
Well,
that's their problem.
That we have.
You see, this is it. This is it. Because when you start talking that language of division, then you see that it's not that neat split, because there'll be a tussle for Kwara State, because of course the Fulanis took it, but it's essentially Yoruba land. The Hausas will say, hang on a minute, we've been under these people for too long, so you can't walk away and leave us in bondage. So there'll be that fight there. The Edos will tell you that, look, we're the people. It's just the thieves.
So do referendum then, have a referendum where people would decide on where they want to go to.
Yes, you probably have about 10, 15, if not 20 countries coming out of that space.
Well, it's better, at least, if you decide, okay, I want to go with Biafra or Duduwa or whatever, it's better than being in this current Nigeria where things are not really working at all. Things are getting bad every day.
Okay, Emmanuel, before we let you go, you have to promise us to come back, because I feel you still have a lot to say, but the pressure of time is bringing the session to an end.
Yeah.
So before you go, please, you are invited to come back, because we need to hear more of what you have to say. So that is Emmanuel. He's a gentleman-looking chap, but he's a boxer. Funnily enough, he doesn't look anything like violence, but he's a boxing coach and a boxer himself, a man of infinite sense, and he's saying, yes, Nigeria, but if it's not working as it's not working under its present configuration, then it is best that we go our separate ways. So, Isaac, are you happy for me to read the comment section and then come to you so that you have a free flow? Or do you want to have your free flow now before I go to the comment section? So you make that decision, Isaac. You have to unmute yourself first.
Sorry, you are the moderator. You can decide. Just decide.
Oh, okay. I don't want, because if you're happy to stay with me, then I'm always happy to have you. So let me just go through the comments, see what people are saying, and then you can have the final word. Okay. So if you put yourself back on mute, then I'll just go through the comments quickly. Okay. So we take it from Oscar, actually, because he was prodding at there's been a lot of fights going on in the comment section, so I'll just skip through the fight and then we'll take it from Oscar's comment, because Oscar was prodding at Emmanuel. He says, please ask Emmanuel what is there to be proud of in Nigeria. So we did put that question to Emmanuel, but he was having something else to say, so he had his own say instead. So Book of Rebellion, Nigeria will only remain just a potential, unable to get out of the starting blocks. Romanticizing now about Nigeria being the savior of the black race is nonsensical fantasy. Well, we can't but dream. Lufon, we will start chasing the Igbos out of the Southwest. They want to secede, and they're still trooping into the southwest in their millions. So that is that subplot, that sub-fight that is permanently bubbling in the background between the Igbos and the Yorubas, that are a never-ending tension that is always there. And African Day, any one of you can reply, Oscar, what can make you proud of Nigeria? So that is something that we might well do a session on, what there is to be proud of. But if I do a session on that, it will only just be people chanting Biafra forever, Odudua now. So it'll just be a disaster. So I might well not do that because we already know how that will go. Tayo Robinson, African Day, Yorubas don't have a wicked mind compared to other tribes. Obasanjo administration was an inclusive government, which no tribe has ever done. Tinubu is corrupt, just like all Nigerians are. So that is his thought in response to whoever he's responding to. Lufon, Tinubu for president, first regional government, Oduduwa Republic. Now this is the most outrageous comment that anybody has ever made in the history of this channel. And you can see it on your screen. This is what a guy called Lufon has to say. Tinubu is not corrupt. This is what this guy has to say. Tinubu is not corrupt. You should be arrested just for even making that comment. Tinubu is not corrupt. Not even Tinubu's own mother would deem to make such a statement. Anti-Mole, Yoruba National, or Yoruba Nation all the way. Lufon again, Tinubu bring us out of Nigeria without bloodshed. Well, Tinubu has his own agenda anyway. If he becomes president, then we'll see how that pans out. Tinubu is not corrupt. He's very, very corrupt. So that is in response to that. Okay, let me just look for names that I haven't mentioned already. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. Oscar, this Emmanuel is so contradictory. He has not said anything positive about Nigeria ever since he stepped in, yet he's proud to be Nigerian. Well, he said a lot of positive things. He's talked about boxing, and he's talked about how improvements can take place within the Nigerian space. So that's all positive stuff. Lefon, how is Tinubu corrupt? He changed face of Nigeria. Igbos are the ones benefiting from Nigeria. So this is a person with a particular gripe with the Igbo people. Lefon carries on, 70% population of Lagos is Igbo. If that was the case, then the governor of Lagos State will be an Igbo man. The fool, Nigeria has done a lot to damage us, and so say all of us. Some of us are living abroad wearing winter coats. I remember as a kid in Lagos, we used to run around even in the rain then, just with short trousers kicking football. There was no such thing. I didn't even know what a jacket was unless we were going to church. But now you can't step out of your house without insulating yourself with about 10 layers of clothing. Chike Lufon, what is holding you back from acting on your wish? This Nigeria 101 for you, Igbos, are your problem. Yes, maybe I misread that, but I'm sure they're sensing it. African Day, Oscar Wilde, I believe you. Emmanuel is confused. Not at all. Emmanuel will be back to give even fuller expression to the elegant thoughts that he has already shared with us. Michael, Emmanuel, if you experienced all these things, how are you proud to be a Nigerian? So you have to understand, he's not here, so I'm paraphrasing on his behalf, and if he's listening, then he can please come and correct me in the future. But my understanding of what Emmanuel was saying is that really, by birth and by history and by being, he is Nigerian. That is his ancestral land. So whether you describe it as Biafra or you describe it as whatever, that is where he's from. So he's not from the United Kingdom. He's not from Canada, China, Japan. He's from a place that is known as Igbo land, which is situated in a place called Nigeria. And he's proud of that. And he should be proud of that. If you are not proud of where you come from, and then you are putting on some fake accent and claiming that you are XYZ, that you are more English than the Queen, etc., then the foolishness is on you, because the people from the country that you are claiming, they are just mocking you, that look at this idiot, and the people from the country that you are really from, they are just mocking you, that look at this idiot. So you then go into America and say, yeah, man, as though that they just see you as a fool. So that is the point that I feel Emmanuel is making. But then, of course, Emmanuel hopefully will come back someday to expand more on that. Tayo, African Day, tell me, who would you say should be president of Nigeria right now that is not corrupt? I think we've already gone through the rogue list of the possible candidates. Tinubu, Atiku, Saraki, El Rufai, So, you know, what is it they say? Same SHIT, different city. So it never changes. Listen to him, Oscar says. Listen to who? Oscar. Le Fond, soon the heat will be on you through Yoruba land. So that is probably some ongoing battle that this person is having with whatever other person. Fu, Emmanuel, don't worry. When we are gone from Nigeria, you can form one Nigeria with Fulanese. We will give visa to visit Oduduwa Nation and Biafra. So where exactly are you, Fu? Because Oduduwa Nation and Biafra are two separate entities, and you cannot lump them together. The self-respecting Igbo man would dish you a slap for that, for associating Igbo land with Yoruba land, and the self-respecting Yoruba man would dish you the second slap for associating Yoruba land with Igbo land. So where do you weigh exactly is the question. African Day, Lufon, 70% of population of Lagos is Igbo. That's why Lagos is developing. Check Abeokuta to see the difference. Lagos is developing because it's the capital. It was the capital city of Nigeria, and invested a lot of the income then, and it's still not only the commercial capital of Nigeria, but the entirety of Africa. So the vast wealth that state commands is what is propelling its development. Nothing to do with Tinubu, by the way. If you put a monkey in charge of Lagos State, it will still continue to go forward. Lufon, Igbo will not leave Nigeria. They can't survive. So that is a controversial statement, and you'll get a flogging for that, I'm pretty sure. And see that the flogging is coming now. Chike, why not yesterday? Why soon? Waste of time. And on it goes. Let me just take this guide that I haven't taken, then I'll go to Isaac. Tinubu is as corrupt itself. You need to stop arguing. So they're still going on about how corrupt or not Tinubu is. So let's see now if there's a new name. Otherwise, let's go to Jennifer, who we've not heard from in a while. So Jennifer, if this agitation is talking us now where is taking us where is what she's intending to say, let's hold our silence, because United Nations will not ask you to go for another civil war in Nigeria, neither the UK, and no one knows the way forward. Really sad. So Isaac, so very in comments, but what are your closing thoughts as we seek to round off? So Isaac, off you go.
Thank you very much for having me back. Okay, now I'm going to respond to Emmanuel's statement. Any country in the world, politics is who get what? That is politics. So politics is equal to corruption. So any country in the world, there is no corruption free in any way that will go in the world. But it's just that the Nigerian government doesn't really care. It's just that they do it in such a way that why they don't care. So I could remember about 2 years ago when the Canadian government they said there are some $60 billion in one account for those that has not claimed their money. That whoever that has not claimed their money for so many years, they could come and claim their money because it is I think it's some money that they took from the tax. So now, if you have not collected your tax, maybe for way back 10 years or 2 years or 5 years, you can come and make your claim. Then when I hear that statement, I just shake my head and say, seriously? If this could be in Nigeria, nobody is going to announce it because that money is gone. Even the one that is even there that we can see It's gone. They share it, let alone one that we don't even aware of. And one government is calling their citizens, okay, well, if you know that you have not collected your share that belongs to you from so year to so year, this money is there, nobody touch it, so they should come and claim it. That was what happened about 2 years ago.
Let me interrupt you a little bit, Isaac. Do you know that there's a similar scenario playing out within the Nigerian space? There are monies in accounts that are either been abandoned because the person is deceased or whatever, and then there are shared dividends also that have remained unclaimed for a very long time within the Nigerian space. What came out the last time was that this was a few months ago. What the Buhari administration are saying is that if these dividends and these accounts are not claimed by anyone, that the government is going to borrow the money. Can you imagine that? They will go into your own bank account and take money.
So that is it. So everywhere, every country have little skeleton in their cupboard, but it's just that Nigeria is just disappointing. It is very, very disappointing. Now, like somebody mentioned in the comments that if everybody goes into their separate way, Igbo are not going to succeed. I think that is very, very wrong. If we divide today, every single region will develop.
The people that have the best chance of survival are actually the Igbos, because they are industrious, they are hardworking, they are educated, and they are intelligent. There's that is the mix for success. So that's just a nonsensical statement.
I don't see how somebody just mentioned that. Igbo will, of course, triumph. Likewise, even the north, the northern part we are talking about, it is just that nobody want to work. The oil money is there, so everybody just care about oil money. Before the oil is booming, northern part is dealing with groundnut. That is why they have pyramid. Southwest developed cocoa. That was what, and palm oil. That was what we are using. Then other region. So it is just because of crude oil, and that crude oil will soon be useless.
Sorry, Isaac, I keep interrupting you. It's just that you make so many important points. When Nigeria first started, the reliance of the economy was on that groundnut pyramid in the north, and this cocoa that you were saying, it was to the point that the first skyscraper that was built, Cocoa House in Ibadan, was built off that cocoa money by Awolowo. So you're exactly right.
So every region will develop, and to me, based on what Emmanuel said, and that Nigeria, if we can get together and stuff like that, I am sorry. I am very sorry. I have seen a lot in Nigeria, because based on my age, I have seen.
You know, Emmanuel is not here to defend himself. Also, don't diss my palo.
I have pray. We still continue praying. I don't see any. I'm sorry. Those who love Nigeria, they love it. I don't see any good thing coming from Nigeria. I'm very sorry. So the best thing is for everybody just go on their separate way. Let's everybody go and develop their area. And like even Nigeria, we can have 36 countries in Nigeria. 36 countries can come out of Nigeria, because there is no, every state in Nigeria, at least they have nothing less than 5 million. Every single state in Nigeria. Meanwhile, there is a small island. Because I've been to all those places, like St. Martin, like Barbados, like.
But you're not comparing like for like, or those tiny little islands. Some of them have a population of less than 1 million. You know, so it's easier to have infrastructures there.
That is what I'm saying. You know Antigua and Barbuda.
Yes, I know.
I lived there for a couple years before I came to Canada.
Okay.
That country right now, as we are talking right now, is less than 120,000 people, inhabitants. And they are doing well. You see, electricity is 24/7.
Yeah, but it's easier in that space and that population to be successful than 200 million people.
That is why I'm saying that we can have 36 states in Nigeria.
Countries.
36 country in Nigeria, even more than that. And guess what? You know, Antigua and Barbuda, when I said this in front of people, they will say, no, that is not possible. This country is generating their power through generator. It is where I live. It is where I live for good couple years. I work there with government. Good 8 years I lived there. They are power the country with generator, and the electricity is 24/7, and they also have factory. But what happened to Nigeria, the so-called giant of Africa? No electricity, nothing.
You know that the amount of money that Nigeria has spent on that electricity is enough to power the whole of that West African sub-region. Under Buhari, they say 16 billion under Obasanjo. It wasn't 16 billion, but it was about 7-8 billion. And there's been no significant improvement, about 10-15 billion under Goodluck Jonathan, no significant improvement, another 10-15, maybe 20, no significant improvement. What does it take just to put it? How long did it take them to electrify Dubai? In just 1 minute, they had electricity.
That is
what is the magic? We are not recreating any science. It's just buy the expertise and have them come and install the thing and let people go about their business. What is the magic? What is the difficulty in this thing?
I see how to go back to that Antigua, right?
We are not asking them to invent electricity.
People will not believe that a country is using generator to power the country 24/7. It's not that they told me. It is where I live for good 8 years, and I work with Minister of National Security there. They use power, generator to power the whole country 24/7. If the light want to go off, they will announce on radio, okay, the power is going to go off in so areas, so time, because they are trying to fix something and stuff like that. And when they do that, the light will come back. So I think Surulere local government, the income in Surulere local government, I mean the budget for Surulere local government alone, or Ikeja, we finance Antigua. That is a whole country. But what happened to Nigeria? We are getting millions, billions of dollars every single time, and the money is just disappearing. I strongly believe our leaders or our ruler, let me just put it that way. Our ruler, I see that they don't have any good thing for masses. Particularly those poor people. Because even if you look at our education system, do they care? They don't care, because they want to render all the kids useless. It's a crime shame the way Nigeria is. It's almost a crime against humanity. The Nigerian government are going against all of the opportunities that God and life presents. It takes even more work for Nigeria to fail than for it to succeed. You have to really try to make a country like Nigeria the failure that it is, because the effort to make it work is so easily done that you have to really try hard. To get the electricity, as we said, it's just a matter of getting who the experts are, getting them to map out a profile for the country, and putting in the spend and putting the electricity there. They are not inventing electricity. They are just purchasing it with expertise, and the money is there. It's a wealthy country. So it's almost more difficult not to do it than to do it. But they will never do it, because they will just steal the money, and then another set of people will come in and then steal the money, and then another set of people will come in and it's frightening stuff. But round off, Isaac, and then I'll go to the comment section, and then we'll seek to round off. We are now actually almost 2.5 hours into it, because you came late, of course, Isaac. But anyway, carry on. The only thing I can say is that I will be saying it over and over. A lot of things has damaged in Nigeria. There is no government that can go there and fix it. Let everybody go in their separate way, so we can use our resources generated to develop ourselves. Have a very nice road. There is a question. Some people are claiming, oh, when Oduduwa Republic come, it is a bad land is going to dominate. It's a bad land is going to dominate Oduduwa. I said, forget about that first.
You know why they are saying that? You know why they are saying that?
No.
No, because Obasanjo is from that region, Abiola is from that region,
Okay.
and Shonekon is from that region. So all of the instances that the Yorubas have ever had to take charge of the Nigerian state is from Egba land.
so I said, forget about that first. Let us get ourselves together. Then you can have a constitution. Then you can build a country from the grassroots, not the one we are having right now. Not the one we are having right now. Because there is nothing good to write home about Nigeria presently now. So that is what I would say. Let everybody just go and build your region. You can fix your road, you can fix your pipeline water, you can fix your electricity. I think that will solve the problem. That is my take.
Okay, give us your closing thoughts and promise to be on time next time, because you know, if you had come earlier now, we'd have rounded off the show, but then it always gets interesting towards the end. That is the thing. I have to tease people to come online to come and talk, but then once they come and talk, then they have so much to say. But give us a closing remark and then we'll seek to round it off.
Well, as I said, I've already give my closing remark. Let everybody just go to their separate ways so we can develop ourselves. We have enough resources in every region that can sustain us. Let us forget about this oil money, because right now the world is changing very fast.
That oil money is actually a curse on the Nigerian state.
So,
now
we are using electric vehicle right now. So in the next few years,
even that oil will be useless.
Crude oil is going to be useless. So what are we going to depend on? So.
Thank you, Isaac. That is Isaac, a regular contributor to the show, a friend of the show, in fact, but he was a bit late today. But as ever, he always has a lot of interesting contributions to make. Let us look to the resources and make good use of them, is the message that Isaac is sending us. Whether under the Nigerian banner or Oduduwa Republic, it doesn't really matter. If you get the system right, then the people will be better off. It's the message that Isaac will like us to take away. Hopefully, we'll see Isaac again tomorrow if it's opportune, if it's a chance to join us. So we'll see what you guys are saying in the comment section before we shut it down. This might well be the longest we've had a session so far. And you remember, I was about to close it off 1 hour, 20 minutes in, but then of course, the boys decided to join me, and then the session, it took on a course of its own. So let's see, we just take names that we've not seen yet. This is Star Daniel. No problem for Kwara State. You don't know the state that much. So I don't know what that means. So it says Kwara State is Yoruba. Well, it may be Yoruba to you, but what they have is an emir, and his name is Danladi, so Mukhtar. So it's being ruled by our Fulani people, as you well know. So Lufon, who seems to be on a completely different trip from the rest of us, he will fulfill Awoist dream. Who will? That might well be a conversation that that's just that I caught midstream. Okay, let me just see. I'm just going to look for a comment either that stands out or from a name that I haven't already spoken to. So Star Daniel comes back. Kwara State is mostly Yorubas, and few in the state capital, Ilorin, are Fulanis. So how come then you have an emir instead of an Oba, and that emir is a Fulani man? So that is the question. So you go reflect on that. Okay. Let's just see. So it looks as though Lufon is on a completely different trip from the rest of everybody. I'm not going to read some of your comments because it's just borderline offensive, really, to be honest with you. So we got Prince Emmanuel, who's come to chime in because, of course, he was still listening and he had to put matters straight. So Prince Emmanuel, a contributor that you just saw, my passport still says Nigerian. My brothers, there is no need to attack or knock each other. Let's put our heads together and solve the current problem. So this is exactly what Emmanuel was saying all the way through. So, and that makes complete sense to me. So I'm not quite sure how anybody really would be opposed to that. Michael, Nigerians is a baby elephant. Dogo Yaro. So Nigeria is a baby elephant. Dogo Yaro. So those are his thoughts, whatever that means. I know what Dogo Yaro means. I know what baby elephant means. But how they combine to form that sentence is what I am still trying to wrap my head around. A new name, so we've not heard from this name, so let's hear from him. Harry Taylor Camara. Antigua has a lot of foreign investment in tourism that has developed the country. So I'm a bit reticent to describe a lot of these islands as countries. Some of them even is just one man and his dog, you know, like 100,000 population or something. So that's not really so much a country, but a holiday spot and a protectorate, or at best an island, but certainly is it a country is really a question mark. Antigua has a lot of foreign investment in tourism that has developed the country. So it's effectively a holiday resort is what you're saying. Unfortunately, their citizens are second class. Africans do not want to develop their countries. Too selfish. So why would Africans not want to? Although the African leaders, you have to make that demarcation because, of course, what we are Africans largely on this platform, and we're all clamoring for a better society. So certainly Africans want development. Jennifer, a regular on the show, have a good night rest, everyone. God is our strength. So it looks as though Jennifer is off to bed. So a good night to Jennifer. Let's take Tayo Robinson and maybe then one or two more. It says Isaac is very sound. Isaac has left. I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that. I hope he's listening. Tayo Robinson, Isaac is very sound. Nobody can override the order in Yoruba land because there will be a constitution guiding us all. So that was the point that, exactly the point that Isaac was making. Lufon, who are you, anti-mole? Are you two from Oyo? Because they exhibit crab attitude. So that crab attitude might well be the cousin of crab attitude, which I think is the point that Lufon was trying to get across. So we make Harry Taylor Camara the final comment. He said meant African leaders. So yes, he's correcting, is just what I was saying, that he said that Africans don't want development, and I was just contrasting that a little bit, but he's come to make some clarification as to what he had intended to say. So we've been at it for well over 2.5 hours now. We only thought we were going to spend an hour, but then of course, you know, I enjoy my time with you guys and the time flies away so quickly. We started off with the federal government tackling the United Kingdom for deeming to seek to grant asylum to IPOB members. And then we went on to a story about a cleric in Borno State coming out into the public space to inform that he had been warning both the Jonathan administration and the Buhari administration that Issa Pantami, the guy in charge of the Nigerian database, is steeped in the wool, die hard with blood all over his hands, terrorist, and that our chicken is now coming home to roost. So Buhari sounds off again, claiming that he would not be intimidated by people seeking secession from Nigeria, and he would not be convening any national convention to discuss the Nigerian state. So that has been the cut and thrust of it. That was how the session has gone. As ever, it deviated into other sort of like topics that has now landed us 2 hours and 33 minutes into the session. So I'll seek to round it off here. But as ever, as I round it off here, the conversation doesn't really end here. It usually carries on in the comment section where the real conversation takes place. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on within the comment section, but here I say peace.